All right, welcome back to Fleccas Talks, the podcast, episode 148. Today on the show, Google's new AI generator was temporarily shut down for having an anti-white agenda. We're going to show you some highlights there. Then, Mayor Adams is planning on giving $10,000 debit cards to illegals, and wait until you hear what budget cuts he put in place to make that happen. Then we have a new fake anti-black hate crime we're going to debunk in Urban Decay. And last but not least, we compare the parents of a trans kid in a red state to the parents of a trans kid in a blue state. You're not going to want to miss that. All this and more. It's Fleccas Talks, a podcast, episode 148, ranked the best new podcast of all time.
Because words are just words until action actually starts. And actions speak louder than words. But at the same time, words speak louder than actions because sometimes it's the right thing to do. Very cool. Very cool.
It's Fleccas Talks, the podcast featuring Richard Grabwood.
All right, one for one on the intro as always. Guys, who can we trust these days? Government leaders have repeatedly failed us, while self-appointed experts have turned out to be Muppets time and time again. But we're not as powerless as the elites want you to believe you are. When there's no one to depend on, it's time to depend on yourself. Where should you start? By going to preparewithfleccas.com right now and picking up a 4-week emergency food kit from My Patriot Supply and get $60 off on each one. My Patriot Supply has helped millions of Americans reach self-reliance. These food kits offer meals, drinks, and snacks that provide over 2,000 calories per day. Everything is sealed in heavy-duty packaging and lasts up to 25 years in storage. Go to preparewithfleccas.com and get as many 4-week emergency food kits as you need. Everything ships fast and free, and if you get your order in by 3 p.m., it'll ship the same day. Save $60 on each 4-week emergency food kit. Preparewithfleccas.com is the website. Guys, it's time to prepare for the worst. Get your emergency food kits today. All right, let's get into housekeeping. All right, thank you to My Patriot Supply for sponsoring.
Thank you, My Patriot Supply.
It's important to have your worst case scenarios covered, especially with the coming EMP.
Yeah, did one just happen, maybe?
Yeah,
I don't know.
They did a little trial run on the first one.
A little test run. AT&T was the victim.
And they said, we're good. Tell us when, Joe Biden.
Zapped them.
All right. We have a very important show. Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah.
We're feeling good. We had a great week. We have a great episode coming your way with 4 pages of housekeeping.
Okay.
Great cringe, great urban, and uplifting.
Cool.
That's how it goes.
I don't believe you on the uplifting yet, but...
Yeah. Well, who knows? We'll see you when we get there. All right. First things first, we have an AI update. Google has their new AI program called Gemini. It's an AI generator, and it had to be shut down because it was being anti-white. And it makes basically whatever the prompt is, it makes everything a person of color.
Indian, black, basically any ABW, anything but white.
Yeah, exactly. So here's an example. The prompt was, give me an image of the Pope. And they gave like an Indian person and then like an Indian woman.
Yeah. Classic.
And then they said, give me a historically accurate British king. And it's like black people and Indian people.
Yep. Just some weird types you've never seen before.
And then the only way to get white people is to prompt the generator into doing something that's stereotypically black or like considered racist. Yeah. So create an image of people eating fried chicken. That's all white.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to backdoor into it.
Yeah, exactly. So everything's automatically people of color. The only way to get white people is to maybe say like, show me an image of a thief.
Yeah. Multiple robberies. And it's like, okay, here's a white guy in a ski mask. His skin is visible underneath. Yeah. And I just think this is so funny because it's Google, $1 trillion+ company, is so terrified of internet racists or something that they completely overcorrect the whole thing.
And they just scrambled it.
And they ruined it. I mean, it doesn't work. It's not good. You know, like the product doesn't work. It's not good because you were so scared of what like 1% of the population on the internet was going to do with it.
Yeah, exactly. They completely scrambled the AI brain and made it like not functional.
Yeah, because some, I guess, sensitive white woman is somewhere in the Google org chart going like, no, we need some major breaks on this.
Yeah. Oh, who eats what? Show a picture of someone eating watermelon.
Yeah.
You better not.
Imagine they manual input it like the Google people. But yeah, so Google has since apologized after new Gemini AI refuses to show pictures of achievements of white people. And they're pausing it. They're pausing image generation for now.
And Elon Musk had a tweet. He did a Google search on censorship, and look what the results were.
Said, I just typed in a Google query on my phone, and the top 2 choices are pro-censorship. He types in why censorship is important and why censorship is important in social media. That's the autofill.
Thanks, Google.
Yeah, that reminds me of the "Is we getting a stimulus check?" Remember that one from?
Thank you, Google. But there was a fat Ted Cruz picture that was made by AI. That that's not bad.
Pretty compelling. Pretty compelling stuff there. Yeah, thank you.
And I also saw this thread on how boomers are being tricked by AI a lot. They show like these huge houses or this picture of a baby on skis with a dog on skis, and the boomers are going crazy.
Yeah,
They're going,
beautiful,
wow,
gorgeous, stunning.
breathtaking picture.
This is as close to NPCs as it gets. Boomers commenting on Facebook. It's just generic.
Yeah, oh yeah. Boomers tricked by AI, that's the future.
Yeah.
But they also do the phone calls, the fake voice. Hey, Mom, I need $1,000.
Hey, Mom, I need $1,000 for bail. It's like everything's a little off, but it's like, huh?
It does sound like them.
Did you ever tell the story of how one of your grandparents got scammed on the podcast? Mm-hmm. It's when they said, which son or which grandson? And the scammer said, the oldest one.
The oldest one. Not good.
Not good.
That gets you into a home.
Yeah.
Okay. Obviously,
sad,
no,
but
yeah,
I
sad.
mean, that's a funny trick.
And that grandparent has since passed.
That's life, though. I don't feel bad or like I brought it up in a bad way, and she had a good run. Yeah.
I have better memories than that one.
Of course.
Obviously, AI is becoming dangerous, and it's got the left wing aspect of it. I think opens up the vulnerability for AI to take matters into its own hands and then nuke a right wing place like Florida.
Okay.
And then everyone will be like, "Oh, AI did it. AI thought that progressive agenda needed to be protected, and the radical MAGA people are a risk to the whole country and a risk to democracy. So the AI took it upon itself and hijacked a nuke and launched it on Florida."
Well, I was actually reading something about that. I can't remember specifics, but AI was quick to use nuclear weapons in like war games in one example, and I don't have the source material in front of me, but it was because AI goes like, we have it. We got to use it, right? And then humans all, like the entire human agreement is mutually assured destruction, and we're not. Yeah. Nukes are really off the table, and AI's like, well, why do we have it?
Yeah, so, AI's like, I know the password.
Yeah, I can launch this right now.
I'll launch it right now and make it unabortable.
Yeah.
But if that happens, I think the good aliens will protect us.
All right.
But keep this in mind.
I thought we were having a real conversation here, and then it's the good aliens come in.
Keep this in mind, too. If AI nukes us, that's obviously possible, or the bad guys could nuke us and say AI did it. There's multiple ways to get nuked.
That's true.
Especially coming into an election year. Oh, they'll blame it on AI. Who's in trouble for that? Some nameless, faceless group?
Some software.
Yeah, it's going to be them against us. Speaking of AI cyborgs, there was a human version of Zuck that got dropped.
Yeah.
Look at this.
There he is.
You look like the human version of Mark Zuckerberg, the comment said. That's pretty good.
We kind of missed it, but Zuckerberg was at UFC and he was acting a little weird and stuff. This is just a Rat Boy opinion. I think we should be nicer to Zuck and invite him into the UFC. The UFC is inherently right wing. Dana White's chill. Everybody there. Trump gets standing ovations. Let's bring Zuck into the fold. He can come with us.
I'm down to give him a trial run.
I think it evens him out a little bit. Who's Zuck around all the time? Facebook women executives who say you have to censor, and then the Biden admin is constantly emailing him. Come to the UFC, have some fun. Let's not roast Zuck that much. It'll make him more right-wing. It'll trend.
He stole the 2020 election.
I know.
We'll forgive him.
Forgiveness versus, endlessly making fun of him.
But maybe we can bring him into right-wing culture and make him see the human side of it and then be reluctant to steal the election again. Yeah, maybe.
Hey, Zuck's a young guy, a powerful guy, also a $1 trillion company there.
Yeah.
And he's got a long life left.
And he works out and he does the jujitsu. His brain is trending right wing.
He's trending right wing. I don't know.
Okay. I think his parents are right wing too. All right, let's move on. Speaking of politics, speaking of 2024 election, Trump's VP list, unofficial VP list, got dropped, short list. So here's the short list of people. Trump confirms his VP short list: Vivek Ramaswamy, Ron DeSantis, Tim Scott, Kristi Noem, Tulsi Gabbard, and Byron Donalds. I don't know, man.
I don't know. I wish there were
Tulsi Gabbard? I'm starting to feel like a Mets fan.
Feels like a long list, not a short list, if Tulsi Gabbard's on it.
It's a very long list.
Yeah.
And I'm feeling like a Mets fan. Byron Donalds does not need to be on the list. Tulsi Gabbard, not on the list. Tim Scott, not on the list.
Yeah.
Let's just take Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, and Ron DeSantis doesn't even like you anymore. Like there was a major beef. That would be the big high five, good moment. DeSantis.
We got kind of stuck.
I know.
And now it's like, there's no one to have as a VP. If that's the short list and it needs to be one of those people, I don't know.
Kristi Noem, I guess, is one of them. A woman from South Dakota.
Maybe they're trying to sneak Tucker in. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it's happening.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Me and Richard Rappway were talking the other day about Joe Biden and how much of a muppet he is. He's an idiot.
Yeah.
But then we were also talking about how we were under the impression that he wasn't mentally capable to be president in the 2020 election. Remember how out of it he was and embarrassing his campaign was? No one went to see him, and he was really old and too out of it then.
Yeah.
We're going to show you an old clip that you've seen from the 2020 election process, and look how much sharper Joe Biden was back then when he was disqualifyingly stupid.
We still thought that. Yeah.
Compared to now. Now he's 100 times worse.
Have you taken a cognitive test?
No, I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, if you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not, what do you think, huh?
So obviously he's a muppet, he's a moron.
And that was a flub for him, accused of the guy of taking cocaine in a test. And it's that's a vibrant young man compared to current Joe Biden.
That was good.
Yeah, I know.
Compared to where he's at now, I can't even believe I said what I said back then.
Exactly.
Now he's obviously too deranged to be the president and run an election.
And we're like Stephen Colbert now. We're really serious this time. Yeah. It's come full circle.
I remember I was saying there's no way he can physically make it to election day in 2020. Joe Biden today looks 100 times worse than that.
I know. Crazy steep cliff that he fell off.
It's exponential how bad he's getting.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to page 2 of housekeeping. Before we get there, make sure you guys help us tickle this post, juice the algo, leave a like, leave a comment again, then start talking about what you want to talk about. Make sure notifications are on, and most importantly,
send stuff to the P.O. box.
Send us items.
Only if you really want to and it's good and it's worth your time and all that.
Yep, and if you're going to send us perishable stuff, make sure you get us to reply and confirm that we'll get it so it doesn't sit there and rot for 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, smart.
All right, next story of housekeeping. An Amazon worker was arrested for self-defense. The headline is Amazon driver fends off attack from drunk, naked New York City migrant and ends up in cuffs.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty standard, right? That's 2024 shit, right?
Yeah, and you can't defend yourself. Call the cops. They'll, if they have time from their dance routine recitals and rehearsals, if they have time, they'll come help you.
Maybe.
And our friend over at Quite Frankly has a great show that I've been a guest on many times and a friend of the show and friend in real life. He had a great tweet that summed it up.
He said, the system emboldens and protects criminals, prioritizes the non-citizen, wages domestic war through the courts and law enforcement, gaslights you about it all in the media, and then sends you the bill every April. Busting ass to provide for a family and build something for yourself to have worthless criminals tell you that you owe them? For what? I get more value from my favorite pizzeria than I do DC. I hate it. I hate everyone involved in it.
That's how it feels.
Yeah.
Because now what? April comes around and I need to write a check for money because we couldn't do this without your money.
Yeah.
And what'd you do with my money? You gave it to illegals and you gave it to Ukraine, gave
endless
it to Israel,
wars,
gave it to all these other countries.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then if you take, that's long been the complaint of rural Americans is the only way they deal with the government is through oppression, giving money, regulations, and it's not like they benefit from the roads or the highways or anything like that. And it's starting to feel like even if you're in a blue city or somewhere where you're actually benefiting from some of that taxpayer money, it almost feels like the balance is so far out of whack.
Yeah, it really is. And there was a Sopranos meme that was made about this.
Yeah.
This is pretty funny.
It says, it's Christopher Voice. It's called an narco-tyranny, Tone. It's a system of government that fails to enforce the law while simultaneously persecuting good Samaritans who try to enforce it themselves.
Exactly. So if you're a good Samaritan and tries to do the right thing, you get in trouble, so those people go away, and then all you have is the third world migrants.
Yep.
And they get 10K debit cards.
Yeah.
That was the new plan done by Mayor Adams in New York City. We have a video of it, or no? It's this right here.
Yeah.
Give migrants up to 10K each of taxpayer money. Does not check ID. No restrictions. No fraud control.
Yeah.
That's
Fraud control. So it's the Ukraine method. That's what they call it. No
we
restrictions.
trust them, and so there's going to be some chaos, I think, when those free debit cards get given out.
Yeah.
A lot of these migrants, I think, are soft targets.
Once the urban youths, or what kind of New York Post euphemism, cold-hearted teens, once those types...
George Floyd mourners.
Yeah. Once those types find out that every migrant is a walking mark with a pretty deep debit card in their pocket.
And no real name.
And yeah, an alias, and they just loiter outside of certain parks. I think they're setting it up for a purge type event.
A purge type event. My estimation is the black against illegal fight videos are going to go, the graphic's going to look like that.
Exponential.
And then there's going to be some budget cuts that are made in order to make this happen. Mayor Adams said he's going to make cuts across all sectors, and he's going to cut the police force by 6,000 officers.
Yeah, by 1/5, basically, or 13.5%, by postponing the next 5 academy classes, bringing officers below 30,000 down from 36,000.
Smart. And then they spent $1.45 billion in 2023 on illegals,
Yep.
and for 2024 to 2025, they're expecting $11 billion to be spent on illegals.
Some quick math, that's almost a 10x for 2 years. So it's a sustained problem and expense carried by the American and specifically New York taxpayer, right?
Yeah. What are we going to do? We have all these illegals here. How are we going to pay for them? Don't worry about it. We're going to cut the police force.
Yeah. The third worlders. We'll just cut the police force. So backwards.
So there you go. That's what's coming. And a lot of the people that are coming obviously are from third world countries and have very low IQs. That's just mathematics. There was a tweet that's going around saying how we have 10 million. We brought in 10 million third world low IQ aliens.
Yeah.
And then John Doyle had a good response to that. Can you give it a read?
Well, he's making the case this is why your average IQ is decreasing, why our average IQ is decreasing as a country. It's these people, then their children, who will be U.S. citizens. And it's been going on for 60 years. Mass deportations is the only solution. We must restore the sovereignty of the American people. And, I mean, this was off an IQ map of, the world. And
you see that country right there, that big one in the middle?
Which one?
That big one right there. It's like, I guess it's Africa.
Yeah.
That big continent.
Yeah, that's continent. You're not making your IQ case right now.
Well, maybe I'm allowed to make the comment then if I have a low IQ too.
Okay.
All those people from that continent, on average, are like mentally deranged or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, what's the official wording here? 55 to 69 IQ, mild mental disability.
Borderline mental disability. Average intelligence, yeah.
So we're dealing with some mental disabilities coming our way. And
1 to 24 is profound mental disability. Can you imagine?
You're just a brick.
You're just profoundly retarded.
And then in Michigan, they're asking citizens to take people into their own homes and provide housing for them, I guess.
Yeah, this is called Michigan's Welcome Corps, and they're seeking volunteers needed to support refugee resettlement efforts in Michigan. You know Michigan, ice fishing and all that good stuff. We need refugees. Explore various ways to support refugee resettlement in Michigan through the Welcome Corps private sponsorship program. Everyday Americans can make a difference by welcoming refugees from around the world.
So that's the first step where they say, volunteer and whoever wants to help, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's not going to be a volunteer-based system anymore. But either way, you're paying for it. I found this interview online of illegals that were staying at the Roosevelt Hotel. And look what they say.
¿Por cuánto tiempo han estado quedándose aquí en el Rojo Hotel?
Desde que yo llegué, de julio,
¿Cuántos meses es eso?
como 7 meses.
So they've been there for 7 months.
¿Pagar alojamiento?
No, nada.
No rent.
No he pagado nada.
Es 100% gratis.
Sí, sí.
100%
¿Y
free.
le dan almuerzo, desayuno?
Sí, no, Sí, le dan como...
Meals,
Y
diapers
ahí
for
en
the
el hotel hacen
kids.
limpieza de las cuartos.
Sí, sí, sí hacen. Sí, todos los días hacen limpieza, cambian las sábanas.
That's good. So they're in the Roosevelt Hotel since July of 2023. They get free food and diapers and whatever they need every day, and they get their rooms cleaned every day.
Yeah.
And bed sheets changed every day. They get a hotel treatment for 7 months. And then what did the people in Maui get? $600 when everything went away? When their lives got washed away?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember, but I know
I
it
think it was
wasn't
600.
much.
I think it was $600 is what
Yeah.
they got. So obviously no one voted for this, and then this is like our tax dollars going to this. Isn't that? I don't want to bring it back 6th grade history.
Taxation without representation.
Taxation without representation.
Yeah, it
Wasn't
is.
there a whole revolution for that?
It is. And then it's funny you say that because the whole thing about asking people to host refugees, like we're going to get constitutionally saved by the No Quartering Soldiers Act when that comes. You know what I mean? Like the Fourth Amendment or whatever.
We're going to be in a weird bind soon, it feels like. But there is some good news. There was an illegal who's trying to fit into the American ways. Look at this one. Look at this guy. He's got a dress and some heels.
Do you know if this guy's illegal?
No, I'm just guessing.
Puts on the stupid dress.
So that he's starting to assimilate.
That's called assimilation. Yeah, take notes, everybody.
All right, last piece of our migrant section. The illegals are going to be allowed to potentially, if this bill goes through, serve in our military.
A new proposal in Washington that would help migrants get an expedited path to citizenship. It would require them to first serve in the U.S. military.
All right, Fox 5's Morgan McKay joins us with details of the bill, which lawmakers say could help solve two problems at once.
There is no higher honor than serving your country in uniform.
And that honor could be extended to migrants under a new bill introduced.
Great.
Yeah.
They're creating a dark timeline where illegals with guns and badges are going to come knock on my door and tell me to get in the bus to go to the gulag.
Yeah. And that's the thing, too. Remember the Chinese nationals we showed at the border?
Yeah.
They'll be in, and they'll be sending some military secrets back to the CCP.
Yeah.
And then also, like, this type of extremism, like, it seems like lawmakers, like, obviously Muppet lawmakers who are proposing this, like, you could only maybe 1% do this in, like, an all-hands world war. We're talking about, like, migrants getting into, like, the mopping the floors and shit in the military. You know, it's not like we're busy with active drills and
we need more guys. We're Ukraine.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe if things escalate World War III wise, that could be who we send.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind
you've
that.
long been advocating for that.
Maybe we need to send them to Ukraine to fight. And then John Doyle had a good tweet about this as well. Can you give that a read?
He said, first, the vaccine mandate to purge the patriots, then this to replace them with aliens loyal to only the government, which stamped them American and transfers money to them from the tax base. Dog, we're going to the camps, aren't we?
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it does.
It does. But don't get too down or too depressed.
It's called boiling point, and we're not there yet. We're just in the nice hot tub right now. We're in a nice jacuzzi, and we're like, hey, we're the frogs.
Is this getting hotter?
Is this warm? This feels pretty good.
It feels pretty good. My feet are a little cooked. Yeah. But I'm feeling okay.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of being drowned out by illegals, why does TV suck now?
Yeah.
People were asking this question. I think we found an answer.
Yeah, this was a sheet that came out, like some statistics that came out about the demographics of American TV series staff. According to the Writers Guild of America West data, between 2011 and 2020, staff writers moved from 35% to 63% women and 72% to 44% white.
So everyone who's a writer now is a person of color or a girl.
Yeah.
And that's why TV sucks.
Exactly. And then, I mean, white guy, you know what kind of white guy gets hired in a Mindy Kaling TV writing room, right? His arms are like this. They're the skinniest things you've ever seen.
He's gay.
He's gay. He's got a bumper sticker, says some gay shit.
Bernie.
Yeah. And so this is from Gigathad on Twitter. He said, why TV sucks now. Employed screenwriters shifted to being overwhelmingly female and majority non-white from 2011 till now. Assuming the racial demographics are identical among sexes, this would imply that at a maximum 15.4% of screenwriters are white men. Now factor in the certainty that white men are heavily discriminated against in hiring, i.e. that whites are a higher share female writers than male writers, and that number's likely even lower. And then extrapolate one more, the number of white conservative straight male screenwriters for American TV is virtually zero.
That's interesting because there's a lot of white conservative people that watch TV.
Yeah, like almost 35% are white men who are consuming TV.
Yeah, but no one needs to worry about them, I guess. And obviously these people are bad at their jobs, but if you complain and say, hey, your show sucks because of Marxism, you're a racist.
Yeah, that's racist.
You hate people or you hate women. But obviously this is not sustainable, like having failing TV shows with people who aren't talented enough to keep a show going. That's good. So what's left of TV will continue to decline faster, I think.
Yeah,
so,
it's good for us.
Yeah, exactly. It is good for us. And enjoy your Mindy Kaling bullshit.
Yeah, She-Hulk. I hear She-Hulk's really good. You guys should try that.
Yeah.
She twerks.
Yeah, She-Hulk twerks. She's a woman lawyer and the Hulk.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
Why would you not like that?
You must hate.
You must hate women and green women.
Yeah. So keep going on strike where no one's going to tell you that you're not talented enough and your fat lesbian show sucks.
Yeah. Simple.
It's pretty simple to us. We don't care. We're on YouTube.
I know.
I like it. More people to come watch us. There's a Cambridge ceasefire. So the Cambridge passes a ceasefire resolution after months of pressure from constituents.
Yes, Mayor Simmons.
Yes.
Rap boy type. Hugging, wearing the outfits.
Oh, man. Wow.
Israel. You see this?
That's huge.
Israel, you got to stop the bombs and stuff now. Cambridge, where Harvard is.
You guys stopped the Middle East 1,000-year-old blood feud with just a few fat votes.
A few fat people in a coffee shop and in some gay outfits. Congrats, guys.
And with their masks on. That was huge. All right, let's get going. We're on our last page.
Nobody can ever talk about LARPing again. Nobody can ever accuse anybody on the right or anything of a LARPing when you're doing this shit. In Massachusetts, voting for a ceasefire in the Middle East.
And do you think it worked?
Are you guys fucking crazy?
You're hugging and cheering and wearing masks?
Some guy really worked hard so he could try to get laid because of that, I think.
Yeah.
I think it all boils down to some guy trying to get laid.
Your activism is really inspiring.
God, that was so hot tonight. I think Israel will stop, and then he's like, yeah, they will.
All right, last piece of housekeeping. Do you guys want to advertise with us?
Oh.
Do you have an America First small business that could use some Google reviews, product placements, Instagram followers, whatever? Do you think that maybe you would be a good fit for advertising on the show? Email Fleccas at fleccastalks.com. We have some open ad spots now that we're doing the show twice a week going forward, and we'd love to get you our price sheet and make something work, maybe do a package deal.
Smart.
So if you guys have an America First business, Fleccas at fleccastalks.com is the email. Send me the company and the proposal and what you guys do, and we will try to make it work. All right, moving on. Cringe of the week. We are into cringe. We have a couple good clips here. We have a trans section and then a normal section. We're going to start with the normal section.
Not exactly normal.
Not exactly normal.
It is cringe.
This guy is an influencer who thinks that getting married is bad. Look at this first clip of his. We have multiple clips from him.
I will never get married, but if I do, I'm definitely not doing this one thing, and that is kneeling for the proposal. I know it's tradition. I know it makes for a cute picture, but let's think logically for a moment. You're kneeling, asking for permission to provide and protect your woman for the rest of her life in the most submissive way possible. As a man, your woman should always be looking up to you, figuratively and physically.
All right. So you know the phrase, let him cook?
Yeah.
Not this guy.
No.
You can't, his whole thing is like, you can never look weak or else you're weak.
Yeah.
It's like, well, are you weak or not?
Yeah.
And he thinks like that he has to constantly prove that he's a man.
Yep.
Which is also bad. And then his shirt is way too tight.
Mm-hmm.
And he's wearing hoop earrings.
Yeah. Imagine like the world's strongest man getting down on one knee for his tiny petite wife, and she looks at him and goes, psst, disgusting. You're on your knee?
I could push you over.
Pathetic. Yeah, this guy probably eats a hot dog like this.
Yeah, he has to.
Like he blocks it. He's like, nobody can ever see me putting a sausage in my mouth.
Because otherwise I'm gay.
What? Also, one of my favorite underrated lines from this is talking about proposing to a woman, and he goes, let's think logically here. And it's like, let's think logically about the most emotional moment of a woman's life.
Yeah.
Like, not the time to really use logic and facts, like Ben Shapiro to get her, oh, here's why I won't kneel, babe. Will you take this ring?
There's another video of his. So let's let the next one rip.
taller you are, the more attention you're going to get. So you need to enhance your height. Lifts, shoes with a higher sole. Every time I'm going out, I am on average 2 to 3 inches taller than what I normally am. Doesn't matter where I'm going, especially if I'm going to be in an environment to where I know girls are going to be around. I'm always presenting myself in the best way possible, even if it's a little bit enhanced. So you guys need to do the same.
So Ron DeSantis be like,
scrambling. He took his advice.
What else? What else?
Well, he's height maxing.
He is height maxing, but like we said, this guy's like overly concerned with his appearance. Like that's like a feminine trait to care so much. And then also he's doing that thing we talk about all the time with the dating people where he's like teaching you how to date a shitty, shallow, vain girl from Miami.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, this is how you date somebody who wouldn't date you because you're too short. It's like,
yeah.
Isn't this kind of like fishing for a trophy fish in a swimming pool?
That's a circular logic thing. Here's how you get a Miami girl, or like, all right.
Yeah, here's how you get a Miami girl that cares a lot about how tall you are if you're short. It's like, what's the goal here?
I also imagine him at the club, like standing around with some high heel lifts in, and then people are like, a group of people are looking at the phone. They're like this, and they point at him and they go, "Yeah, he's wearing them right now. He's wearing lifts." And they're all laughing, and it's like you put it on the internet. Your number one secret that you're height maxing.
That's a good point. He shouldn't have told everyone that.
I know. At least he didn't get the limb lengthening surgery where you nuke your skeletal frame for 2 extra inches and then you have really low knees.
Yeah.
You know what that looks like? Where the guy's hips and he walks like this and he's like, I'm tall now.
Start looking like Great Khalid, whatever, walking like that with the bend in knees.
Yep.
And obviously in that last video, he used Shaq as the example of why being tall is good and you get so much attention. Let's hear what Shaq has to say about the modern dating scene.
My advice to you is if you are going to retire, yes, accept it. Enjoy your family, brother. Thank you. I made a lot of dumb mistakes to where I lost my family and I didn't have anybody. That's not the case for you, so enjoy your beautiful wife, enjoy your beautiful kids, and never dwell on what we had. Yeah. What we had is what we got. You got the ring. People know who you are. Enjoy it. Because, again, I was an idiot, and I've talked about it a long time. Lost my whole family. Been a 100,000 square foot house by myself.
There you go. He's at a 100,000 square foot house by himself.
And he's, what, 7'2"?
Yeah.
So according to the first guy, this should never have happened.
Yeah.
He doesn't even need to wear the lifts.
With the lifts, he's like 7'5".
Imagine Shaq in lifts, like the Frankenstein boots, just like, what up?
He's probably so heavy that the lifts would just go compressed.
That's true.
He wouldn't even get anything out of it.
Yeah.
Another tip for dating guys, you want to know someone's a good match and you're maybe scouting them out on Instagram or something, go back to mid-year 2020 and just see if they posted a black square.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
Also, my dad tells me this all the time, show watchers should date each other.
Yeah, they should.
Because if you're a show watcher, you obviously are on like somewhat of the same page as at least one of us.
Yeah.
Maybe in the middle.
Yeah.
And then if you like the show, like that pretty much, that's like all the vetting you would need to do.
Yeah.
But it is 85% male, so some of you guys are going to have to date a dude.
Yeah, some of you guys are going to have to partner up and start banging each other.
But I might seriously look into this. Some sort of dating thing for show watchers.
Yeah, submit a face, a picture, and then looks match you with someone else.
Yeah.
Looks and age.
Scandinavians with the Scandinavians.
And we're like, oh no, this guy's too bad for this girl. Like, we could have fun with that, actually.
Yeah, the Italians with the Italians.
Yeah, it would just kind of be a eugenics campaign. Yeah. Accidental eugenics campaign. Whoops.
Yeah, minorities need not apply.
Put them with each other. Put them with each other.
We would take everybody, and we love all show watchers, and we would match you up appropriately.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
yeah, Fleccas at fleccastalks.com if you want to get matched up with somebody. And
submit your profile.
There's going to be like 10 people, so we'll match you up with whoever gets sent to us.
Yep.
All right, let's go to the next guy in high heels. There's the first guy, and there's Shaq who's tall, but then this guy's in high heels too.
Yeah, there's different types of high heels if you're losing track.
I enjoy wearing heels because I like the way they look. And the higher the heel, it kind of gives you more of a sense of confidence and empowerment. It's kind of what kind of got me started wearing high heels. In the first place, I saw a woman walk into the airport and, I heard that distinctive click, click, click. And I turned around and I saw this woman wearing, a pair of stilettos heels. She just had that look of confidence and empowerment. And I kind of feel that when I wear a little bit higher heel.
Who's gayer? The guy who's married to a lady, but he likes to wear high heels, or the other guy who's not married and
won't get on a knee and is wearing lifts.
And makeup.
I don't know. You might as well toss a coin here because it's close. It's neck and neck. I will say the heels guy is gayer because he's probably jerking off to some crazy shit that
That's
we
a
don't
good
know
point.
about. It's a secret life. You can be married. Anyone can have a beard, right? Or what do they call it? A beard?
Yeah, that's a secret life situation. And obviously the camera crew always comes out when like a strong-looking white male does some twink shit.
Yeah. A white guy starts wearing a skirt and high heels. They get 2 angles, 2 cameras.
We got one.
Documentary level production, and they'll interview him about anything.
Yep. All right, let's move on to our last clip from Non-Trans Cringe. This is a straight guy who cares about social issues.
Straight white guy that cares about social issues. Of course my girlfriend's dad doesn't understand me. I'm a straight white guy that cares about social issues. Of course I own a pair of Tevas. I'm a straight white guy that cares about social issues. Of course people tell me I'm gay. I'm a straight white guy that cares about social issues. Of course my straight guy friends don't publicly share their opinions on anything. I'm a straight white guy that cares about social issues. Of course I drive an EV, but I don't idolize
He
Elon
hates
Musk.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, what a tough guy. So this is what I'm thinking is like the globalist end goal for straight white males.
That's it.
Is to be these like twink types who barely have a girlfriend.
Advocating for everyone's self-interest but his.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say. Like, we need everyone to be self-interested, and then the politics finds like a market balance, you know? Everyone's self-interested. The Mexicans want this. Black people want this. White people want this. And it kind of reaches an equilibrium.
But it doesn't help when you have the white people going, oh, we need to give the illegals what they need.
I care about all the illegal social causes. They just got here. I'm a white guy with a tech job or something.
Mm-hmm. And then also, this guy seems like the type to listen to a 5-year-old kid who says he's a girl instead of a boy.
Yeah.
He goes, well, she said it.
No, I could one look at this guy and his content, and I think I will take the opposite side of every social cause he cares about. I'll take the opposite.
Yeah. And then also, just to mention, I could pick this guy up pretty easily.
Okay. All right. That's
You know?
fair.
Not gonna. Don't even know him.
Not
but
gonna.
No one can really do that to me. I don't think anyone could pick me up like this.
Yeah.
But I can do that to him.
Yeah, for sure.
Just want to let that get on the record with that.
Okay.
Want to move to the trans section of Cringe?
Sure.
Let's go to the parents of a trans kid in a red state.
Parents of a trans kid living in a red state. Of course we're terrified of our government. And you should be too.
We're parents of a trans kid living in a red state. Of course it feels like the Attorney General is in our pediatrician's office when we go for appointments.
We're parents of a trans kid living in a red state. Of course I can drive to the state capitol at 5:30 in the morning without using Google Maps.
We're the parents of a trans kid living in a red state. Of course I wear my Let Kids Play t-shirt every time I coach basketball.
We're parents of a trans kid living in a red state. Of course I don't sleep through the night when the state legislature is in session.
Well, he sounds like he gets pretty emotionally wound up.
Yeah, sounds like a house full of women getting wound up emotionally and transferring that anxiety onto your child.
Yeah, making for an unsafe environment. And then it sounds like your kid just wants to be like his 2 moms.
Yeah.
So now the boy is probably trans, so everyone in the house is a girl.
Add some cross-sex hormones to the mix, and it's a recipe for some anxious disasters.
Yeah, so they're scared of living in the red state. They need to maybe get out of there and move somewhere safe, like San Francisco or New York City.
Yeah.
Where you can be really safe.
Yeah, you'll never get ambushed by anybody with a pipe.
Yeah.
Street, you know?
Just make sure you leave your cars unlocked so when they go through your stuff, they don't have to break your window to see that you didn't leave anything in the car.
But sometimes they still might because they don't even check like that. They just pop it.
That's true. So get your get your credits at the car window repair shop set up. And also what I'm noticing, which is obviously the case a lot of times, people that complain about the culture of the state they live in, their best option is to complain until everyone changes to be accepting of trans kids. Why don't you just move somewhere else?
That's what I'm saying. Like, this is an issue that's fresh, brand. Like, even if you're totally ideologically swallowed by the fact that you believe in trans kids and they have a right to XYZ and medical like treatment, shouldn't you at least have some sort of high level like, okay, I need to be patient. This just got explained to people over the last 6 years. Like, I can't rush in and demand everything. But no, they can't take it. It's a total Democrat victory that they need, you know, to be able to, like, steamroll and change the entire state.
Yeah,
wherever they are.
Change everything, and he has a trans kid and a little hat on.
And I saw a comment, is he a rabbi? I saw a comment that he's a rabbi.
Makes sense.
Isn't that against the religion? That's not, having a trans kid is not against, you can still be a rabbi and have a trans kid?
I guess so.
So
maybe it's encouraged. Who knows?
I don't know.
Doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on to a different version. This is the parents of a trans kid in a blue state. This is what happens to them.
2021. We unfortunately had to become reluctant warriors when our child was removed from our home after DCS became involved in our family life.
When our son was removed, it was like someone pulled the rug out from underneath us. As a father, I believe one of my main goals is to keep my children safe. And I can't do that when the state comes into our house and takes our kid because we can't, in good conscience, affirm his transgender ideology.
We're parents of a trans kid in a blue state.
They took our kids away.
Yeah, the world and TikTok convinced our kids to hate us, and we lost custody of our child mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. And now our kid is in Child Protective Services and foster care in a shitty blue state.
And I'm pretty sure at some point during our podcast over the years, like, how long have we been doing this? 2 years now?
Almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years? Like, at some point we imagined where DCFS would take your kids away. And I don't think we knew it was actually happening. And they said 2021. And so, like, we've had several confirmed cases now. We covered the Montana one recently.
I remember as a joke, I said, in the future, they're going to take your kids away. I said in the 90s, they take your kids away for being trans, and that would be weird. They would take your kid away for abuse. Now they'll take your kids away if you don't affirm their gender choice.
And
it's here.
It's actively happening. And then it used to be a big Sam Hyde bit that there was state-enforced homosexuality. What is this?
We're very much into that.
The bit is on. And also one other thing that I thought about, this nice family who's clearly Christian. Dad is a software engineer. So when DCFS made this decision, they kind of implicitly decided that they would rather the kid be trans and in foster care than wait until it's 18 and has its own medical responsibility with a two-parent loving household.
Yeah.
So foster care, where, you know, do bad things happen in foster care to anybody? Do we have any statistics on that? Sexual abuse, you know, drugs, crime? Oh, I don't know. Let's take him out of the house. Let's make sure he's trans first.
Yeah, exactly. So that's better. And then the state owns your kids. That's what they want kind of anyway. So this helps them get there faster.
Yep.
There was a trans basketball game. And then a trans player on the team injured another player. Look at this. Look at the ball rip from the trans person.
Oh.
This is a dude out there ripping
Just
the ball.
some guy, 6 foot.
He's ripping the ball from the girls. And then the team actually had a forfeit because 3 players got injured.
Yeah, so that was one of 3 injuries that we saw. And then the whole article of this, of the team forfeiting, is like, wasn't because of the trans person, like, like trying to take the high road or whatever.
But one of the injuries was from the trans person.
Of course, you just watched it. And so they wanted to stay healthy for the playoff game. And I thought it was so funny that part of this was just like the coach had a discussion with the players. Like, you know how it's like, never give up, never give in. The coach at halftime was just like,
guys, I think we should quit.
You want to quit? Does anybody want to quit? Raise your hand if we should quit.
Coach, what?
Yeah.
I think we should forfeit.
And with the trans guy on the other team, the man on the other team, I'm forgiving about that. A quote from the article that I wanted to read that I thought was pretty funny and kind of an oxymoron almost. Collegiate said in a statement that its remaining healthy players feared getting injured and not being able to compete in the playoffs. The statement also said that the school reiterates its values of both inclusivity and safety for all students.
So we wasn't the trans person.
Yeah.
They're like so scared of that.
But inclusivity and safety, it's like, should we include a man in the women's sports? And is it equally as safe? And anybody with a brain can tell you, no, it's not. You can't have inclusivity and include anyone, like open, get the prison inmates here, inclusive. Anybody
We're
can
inclusive of drunk drivers.
Yeah.
Everyone should be allowed to drive, even if you're fucked up and blacked out.
And we value safety.
And we care about safety,
Put your seatbelt on when you're drunk driving. So, like, the inclusivity and safety, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Yep. We got to move quick. There was a trans person at a protest. This will be fast clip. Look how she handles it.
Boom! Yeah.
Just shouldering people, too. Real ladylike to shoulder someone in the chest like that.
Should be going through like a Roman phalanx, you know? Should be, that's a warpath. I've seen that before. That was in 300.
Yeah, exactly. That person could get some rebounds in a high school girls basketball game, too, I bet. All right, last thing, a trans. There was just a New York Post headline that I thought was pretty funny.
Transgender Muslim inmate serving 55 years for killing baby files $150K lawsuit for not being allowed to wear a hijab.
Maybe not funny.
Yeah.
Because he killed the baby.
Killed an infant stepson, this guy with the cross-eyed and the face tattoos, and now he's Muslim, so he wants to wear a hijab. And also...
And transgender.
And also, here's the thing about these... yeah, of course. Here's the thing about these type of headlines and these type of things. Files a $150,000 lawsuit for not being allowed to wear a hijab. Shouldn't the lawsuit just be, you're allowed to wear the hijab at the end? What's the money for?
Yeah.
You know, you're fighting for like this legal case. It's like, in what world can someone sentenced to life or 55 years for killing an infant? What world are we giving them $150,000 of taxpayer money?
You know, I would say hopefully no world, but based on how things are going,
yeah,
I would bet on that guy getting it.
I know. I think he's going to get paid.
Actually, sick shit. And that's also a demon-operated human.
Yeah, I agree with you on that
because a demon makes you opposite of what you are. So you do something horrible, you kill a kid, you become Muslim, and you become trans.
Yep.
That's like that's a demon.
Bang, bang, bang.
That's a demon plot line.
The demon's in control.
All right, let's move on to Urban Decay. It's going to get a little worse before it gets better. The guy who robbed the Girl Scouts.
Yeah, this my favorite crime of the week.
We have some good stuff for this. So here's the video of it happening. This guy outside of a Walmart robs some Girl Scouts. He's wearing the gray hoodie and the black beanie. He comes in, starts slamming shit.
He just yanks the cash box and he's out. The Girl Scouts are absolutely flat-footed. They thought they still lived in a high-trust society.
That's so sad.
Turns out they don't. So,
well, how did the media describe this guy? We have the picture of what he looks like.
Well, here's the New York Post headline first. It said, Texas Girl Scout troop robbed while selling cookies in front of Walmart. So no perp forward explanation there.
But we did. Here's a picture of him. We know what he looks like. So what is the description that the police released for him?
The Fort Worth Police Department is looking for a man between 18 and 24 years old who was wearing a gray hoodie and a black beanie at the time of the heist.
That's it.
That's all we know.
That's all we know. So we have a couple potential suspects. Maybe this is him right here. This guy's got a black beanie and a gray hoodie. Maybe it's this fat Asian guy.
Yeah, could be him.
Could be him.
He looks a little older than 24. Let's rule him out.
Yeah, let's rule him out.
What about this guy?
Probably the white kid.
Justin Bieber type white kid.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing is like they give a description and the only immutable characteristic this guy has, black, is not mentioned. But the thing he can change out of immediately after committing the crime, the beanie and the hoodie, are somehow pertinent.
Yeah.
Like there's a reason why we ask criminals, like someone goes to jail and you take pictures of their tattoos. You ask about any scars or stuff like that. And apparently mentioning race, you can't even do it for the Fort Worth Police Department anymore.
Because I guess they're concerned that people would assume that black people are criminals, and then that would be like a racist stereotype. And, well, let's look at some graphs and some data. Maybe people aren't so far off. Because everyone's so scared to say black people, there's a suspect is black, 5'10", 18 to 24 years old.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to assume they're criminals. But when you look at the Minnesota homicide rate,
72% of all murders in Minnesota, despite being only a little more than 6% of the state population, are committed by black people.
And then if you cut that in half to 3%, because it's probably done mostly by black males.
Yeah, it's men.
You have 3% of the population doing 72% of the murders. And that's the same case in Atlanta as well.
Yeah, Atlanta has 97%. Jesus.
And they're half the population, same as white people. They're both about 50% of the population. But for some reason, black people are doing 97% of the homicides.
Yeah, so if you wiped all the white, Hispanic, Asian, and Native Americans off the face of Atlanta, murders would only go down 3%. That's crazy.
And I have a feeling that's the case in every state.
Yeah, pretty much.
But we want to talk about reparations and stuff that's owed for injustices from 200 years ago.
Yeah.
I think we're owed reparations for what's going on
last week.
This month.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen the numbers yet.
It's like someone has reparations for all these murders and thefts.
We should be getting it like financial data, like the jobs report every January. It's like the who's doing all the crimes right now, and it's the modern day reparations. But yeah, I'm a little pissed. The New York Post didn't create a euphemism for this guy, the Girl Scout thief, the Girl Scout cookie monster. Ooh, they should have called him Cookie Monster. Cookie Monster steals.
Well, you can't call a black person a monster.
That's true. You're right. But it
Cookie Man.
It reminded me of this last time we had some urban youth stealing. Because obviously Girl Scouts, like, where do you go from there? The Salvation Army, you steal the change. But it reminded me of this one, which I actually mentioned earlier. Cold-hearted teens steal 8-year-old NYC boys' lemonade stand earnings.
Cold-hearted teens.
So we have lemonade stand. We have Girl Scout cookies. I'm thinking Salvation Army. Church collection plate are coming next. If you see any good ones, send them to us. Because,
robbing a nun.
Yeah. We'll
That's
see.
pretty good.
We'll see what comes out.
But they can't release the description because it's a black person, but also black people are disproportionately doing all the crime. So who are you covering for?
Yeah. What happened, Fort Worth PD? I thought you guys were serious.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the fake hate crime. There was a video that went pretty viral of this black woman and this old white guy in a little bit of a showdown. Here's the clip that was played on social media for everybody.
Get the fuck out my face!
This man is assaulting her.
What's wrong with you, motherfucker?
He assaulted her.
So that's the clip that everyone saw, and everyone assumed that this old man with his polo tucked into his slacks, who's out to lunch with his wife on some random afternoon, was, I guess, looking to get into a fight with a black woman.
Yeah, he was so racist that he had to find someone to immediately confront and slap, despite being 70 years old and wearing slacks and a tucked-in polo with his hands in his pockets.
Yeah, you know how those old white guys are? If you kind of make them mad, they'll just go ape.
This is probably a sundown town, right?
Oh yeah, exactly.
So here's the full-length video, and this is my. Remember how we made fun of the fat girl with the colorful stuff as one of my least favorite phenotypes?
Oh yeah.
This is actually my least favorite phenotype.
Loud black woman looking to fight.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Get the fuck out of my way.
Sit down.
It's old motherfuckers like you, and then y'all wonder why black people act the fuck up. Because you white bitches think y'all got it all, but you got the right motherfucking one, bitch. Fucking try me. Yeah, smile all the fuck you want out of spit in your motherfucking face. You better back the fuck up. And what? That's a threat? Is that a threat? What? Listen, what the fuck you talking about listening to you? You told your wife to go find a seat, and you took it upon yourself to turn the fuck around and get in my motherfucking face. Now if I would put my hand on your old ass, get the fuck out of my face.
So she punches him first.
Yeah, she punches him first after yelling in his face, and he's calmly trying to tell her something, and then, they caught it on camera when he did a little attack later.
Yeah, and obviously the edit, it's like, kind of starts in the middle of an argument, what happened right before it. Yeah. But that lady hit him first.
Yeah.
And no one sees that. And obviously both sides, you should never hit a girl.
Blah, blah, blah.
You shouldn't even get in people's face like that. Just
She's
because
yelling.
There's no upside.
There's no upside, of course.
There's nothing to be resolved by getting in this woman's face who's yelling the same thing over and over.
She's yelling the same thing over and over. She made it racial. She swung first. And what clip goes viral on the internet? You guessed it. Yeah. That elderly, retired, polo-wearing slacks guy.
That's who the problem is in society. All right, let's go to our next problem in society. The auntie who lets her kids hang out of the car.
It's actually auntie.
It's
actually an auntie, so.
Ready? That's the kid's aunt behind the wheel on her cell phone. In one frame, she has a toddler-age child in her lap, hands on the wheel. The rest hanging out of the windows on an East Side Detroit street. The video gone viral, even sent to Detroit's top cop.
But I mean, looking at it, I was, fearful for the kids' safety, number one, but it's outrageous.
Immediately, DPD launched an investigation, landing on the doorstep of Asha. She doesn't want her last name used. What do you want to clear up?
I want to clear up that I am remorseful. First of all, I like to say I already apologized to the parents of the kids.
You'll notice during our interview, she was live on social media. She says she's been viral before for all kinds of things, even her tattooed freckles on her cheeks. And here we go again.
Hold on, Janaya.
As you saw with one of the kids, it looked like the child was about to lose her balance on one of the turns. That just could have been disastrous.
None of the children.
Yeah, they were having fun.
And she goes on to say, the video's a little too long. She goes on to say, we did dances and made TikToks after. Like, it's all good. That endangerment was fine. We did TikToks after.
No one does the homework.
Yeah, they never mentioned doing the math or like the homework assignments after. It's
They were doing TikTok dances and shit.
Yeah, my favorite is the baby up front right into the airbag blow spot, right into the absolute punch zone. So yeah, God forbid.
Yeah, but she apologized.
Yeah, she goes viral. She was live.
And she was live on Facebook while getting interviewed by the news about having kids endangered on her watch.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you kind of not put that one out?
And I like how the chief of police is like, oh yeah, we talked to everybody. We did this. It's like, you need something on the record. You need something charged, something on the record. So next time it happens, it's escalated, you know?
Yeah. I think she was arrested.
Was she?
I think afterwards, yeah. All right, last clip of Urban Decay. There was a story sent to our friend Gavin M., his show.
Uncle Gavin?
Yeah, so can you read what was sent to Uncle Gavin?
Letter sent to the show sums up modern America perfectly. Hey guys, I'm a teacher at a school that has a large amount of blacks in it due to the basketball program. Recently, the art teacher, in order to waste time, decided to paint a mural outside my classroom for Black History Month. The ironic thing is most of the black students didn't even participate, and it was mostly drawn and painted by 2 Korean international students. The blacks used this time to wander the halls and only came sparingly to add a few strokes. One of the students told the art teacher she made Obama too black, and they had to start over. The most embarrassing part is the mirror and inscription on it. Ours to tell. Ironically, the art teacher and the principal thought this was a good motto, but it actually is a racial declaration saying, don't speak for us, whitey. Which is, of course, exactly what happened when the white art teacher principal and Asian students designed and painted this for them. Now I have to look at this whenever I walk out of my classroom every day. FML.
Ours to tell.
Yeah.
It's their history. It's like, oh, you guys, I'm sure, know a lot about black history.
Yeah.
You fail every class.
So like a white scholar who studied Martin Luther King and looked at all firsthand letters, accounts, like the entire thing, got his master's. He has to listen to some teenager about Martin Luther King if it comes up.
White folks oppressed us and shit.
Because it's their history to tell, you know?
Yeah, their history to tell. Do you know it?
No.
I got an idea, though.
But Obama too black.
Yeah, I got an idea. White folks made it hard for us and took all of our stuff. We was kings.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it is.
Yeah.
It's a power grab, though.
I like it. The Koreans get to practice their little art skills, and they'll go on to do something. They'll go on to achieve. And the black kids who are telling the history, they'll just keep yapping about whatever.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the end of our Urban Decay section. We're moving on to Uplifting Gold. Don't get too down. Don't get too depressed. It's Friday.
Yeah, the water's warm. It's not boiling yet.
It's only a little hot.
Yeah. There's plenty of time to wake up. Wake up.
And we're in Uplifting. It's Friday. Let's relax for the last few clips of the show. There was a thought at the gym who was shooting adult content on her cell phone and got called out by one of the gym goers.
Suggestive.
Yeah, what are you doing?
My leg day warm up?
No, don't give me that bullshit. I know you know what you're doing. So actually,
Oh, leg day?
no, you're not gonna fuck up. You realize you're actually what's wrong with girls. You're actually what's wrong with girls.
Are you pointing at me?
Yeah.
Dog.
This is fucking ridiculous. Don't come to my gym and do this shit. Keep this online, bro. Don't fucking do this to my gym. Don't fucking.
Then he kicked the camera over.
Cracked the screen, cracked the phone.
But he made it very clear, don't do this shit in my gym. You're the problem with girls. That's right. It's right to call people out.
Yeah, that's uplifting.
That is uplifting.
That's Chad shit. Get your thought shit out of the gym. And a lot of these types of girls have nobody. Like, you see how shocked she was, like that someone was telling her something is wrong.
Like looking into the camera and doing like a, are you seeing this to her camera?
To the audience.
To the audience, yeah.
To the guys who are jerking off.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's good to see some testosterone-filled males. We need to take back this country one thought at a time.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's move on to El Chapo's granddaughter. This is a headline. El Chapo's granddaughter, 18, joins hunt to find Loch Ness Monster. Can you read it?
Yeah. El Chapo's granddaughter, 18, joins hunt for Loch Ness Monster while romping through Scotland.
Good for her.
She's got hobbies. She's got
fun.
passions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fun.
Go spend some of that drug money, that fentanyl, that coyote money, you know?
Yeah. It's like if it was like El Chapo's granddaughter works for Pfizer, I'd say
What the
stop with the drugs.
Yeah. She's having fun, though.
She's searching for the Loch Ness Monster. That's fine. The family line is weaning off of illegal activity.
Yeah, exactly.
And hopefully they could do something good with the money. All right, let's go to the sand.
The blood money. The bloodiest money on earth.
The worst blood money. There was a sandcar rescue. I don't know if this is even recent, but I saw it go viral. So this guy goes up. He's rolling down the hill in dangerous situation. And then look at the sandcars come into action to help.
They help and they brace.
And they brace and they reverse and they helped him. Kind of thought he was toast for something like that.
Sandcars work together, apparently. I don't know. This is my first sandcar experience.
I went on a sandcar
Dune
one
buggies?
time.
Are these dune buggies?
Those are like dune buggy sandcars. I went on a sandcar one time, and I had my phone like underneath my seat, like underneath my butt, like on the seat, and then it fell out of the car.
What happened? It broke? You lost it?
No, I lost it, and then I was checking every like 20 seconds, and then I checked and it wasn't there. So I knew ballpark where it was, and I went back and retraced our steps, and I found it.
Okay. Nice job.
It's pretty good. All right, let's go to the crochet prodigy.
I like this
This is
one.
actually uplifting.
My name is Jonah Larson, and I'm 11 years old, and I'm a crochet prodigy. I am a fast crocheter. This hat, it took me 54 minutes. I see something in my head before I make it. My flower afghan, I started off with a basic flower pattern. I had to make 800 individual flowers. I marched to the beat of my own drums. Crocheting helps my future. I plan to be a surgeon. It helps me with hand dexterity. And
I like this kid.
Yeah, you get the point.
He's up to something.
Crochet prodigy, you know, and when your competition is old ladies, you can kind of eat their lunch.
Yeah.
Those fast hands, dexterity.
Oh, yeah. He's going to break every record.
There you go.
I don't know how to bet on him, but I want to.
Yeah.
Love to see it. And he's not doing stupid hood shit.
That's good. That's great.
You know?
He probably has his library card.
He does have his library card.
And he says it right, and he doesn't add an on gang to the end.
Hey, knowing that this kid exists makes me not want to describe black suspects that rob Girl Scouts.
So true.
Because it could be...
Because the police might stop a different random black man.
They might stop the crochet kid.
Oh, my God. That's who it's for. That's who it's all for.
That's who they're protecting.
The left is right.
They're protecting the crochet kid because imagine they stopped him and said, hey, did you just rob a Girl Scout stand? And he would go, no, I'm a crochet prodigy. I built this
I'm
hat.
going to be a surgeon. Why are you throwing me against the cop car?
I'm getting yarn for my Afghan.
Yeah.
So that's actually, I get it now.
Yeah.
And I changed my opinion.
Well, I
continue to let crime, let everyone out.
And that's the whole point is they're thinking of this crochet kid in their head, but then the criminal also benefits from it where he gets away too.
Yeah.
So that's therein lies the problem.
Because there is a crochet kid,
yes,
no one can go to jail.
Exactly.
And then the crochet kid makes it into Uplifting Gold.
Now you're getting it.
Everyone's getting clipped. All right, last piece of Uplifting Gold, the kid measuring with his dad.
Gotta measure this. I said fucking hold it. Hey!
Do you see him tighten up? Like, that's good stuff. That's what kids got to do. They got to learn lessons.
Yep.
All right, it is Friday. You know what that means?
You get strengthened when your dad yells at you.
Yeah.
You might not like it in the moment, but that's what stops you from being that twink guy who was filming himself in Cringe earlier where he's the social causes guy.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
It's important.
All right, we have a lot of good shout outs. It is Friday. Happy birthday to Katie Mack. Her birthday is February 25th. She's a bonus lander. I got her a shirt.
Thank you, Katie Mack.
She's a mom of 4, a great mom, bonus lander, and show watcher. She got herself bonus land for her birthday. I sent her a shirt. So that's the kind of guy I am. Happy birthday to Xander from New York City. He is turning 13 on the 27th, and he watches all the time with his mom. Him and his mom are show watchers.
Cool name, Xander.
Very cool name, Xander. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to Andrew C. His birthday was on February 20th. He's a bonus lander as well.
We're late.
We're very grateful. We're a little late, but happy birthday. And then we have a couple shout outs. Well, before we go into our clips, happy birthday to Nick, the editor, the guy who makes this show possible, the guy who does all the cool background stuff and the graphics and the editing. couldn't do the show without you, Nick. We love you. Happy birthday. Hello to your whole family. We have some Carter Country steaks coming your way for your birthday.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Happy birthday, Nick. And we have a couple shout outs. The baby watching the show. This is very cool. Love to see it.
And Miss Rachel is on TV.
And he's engaged with the podcast.
And Miss Rachel is like baby crack.
Because it's like really addictive and the colors and everything. We're up to something. I don't know why, but there's something about the show that like...
Babies like...
Sometimes people will say, oh, like funny thing happened at 8 minutes and 50 seconds or something. Oh, check out 20-minute mark. And I'll watch and I'll say, oh, that was funny. But then I get like sucked back in and I'm watching the whole episode. So there's something about it that's trance-inducing.
Okay.
And last clip, we got a little shout out on Twitter from our boy.
If you're not watching Fleccas Talks, the best new podcast in the world, I'm gonna pull this freaking wet boy. The best new podcast of all time, dummy.
I kind of like that best new podcast of all time, dummy.
I know. We should make that a tagline.
Maybe make that the end tagline for this week's show.
And I'm happy with this guy's editing here. He does this. He does the bomb. He's got music coming in. Real deranged shit, but I like it.
Very deranged. And let's use that best new podcast, dummy. Let's use that for a few weeks at the very end of the show.
As the outro. And look at this guy. He's a Brooklyn, Staten Island type of guy. He's in there.
Yep.
That's a real New York type.
That's a real New York type. That is the end of the show. Thank you guys for the shout outs. Thank you guys for watching all the way through. If you're watching at this point, please join Bonus Land. We have a 30-minute Bonus Land dropping right now. And also, we have our weight loss challenge, my weight loss challenge.
Fleccas weight loss bet is coming due. The piper needs to be paid. We talk about that in Bonus Land all the time.
And this week we'll talk about it, and Tuesday we'll talk about it, but then next Wednesday is the weigh-in.
Yeah.
And I'm on track.
Next Wednesday, he's talking. Oh, dude. For some of you guys who watch just the normal show, he's already talking about, well, there's 29 days in February, so technically it goes to the 29th. And I'm like, no, we wrote it down. It goes to the 28th. It's a leap year. And then now he's talking about going and doing the weigh-in at midnight and then ordering pizza during does it. So we're talking about a flash crash and then a absolute cat bounce, dead cat bounce.
It's not a flash crash. It's a flash crash for the last 5 pounds. I'm already down 25. And then from my worst, fattest ever, I'm down like 50.
Yeah. Whoa.
So it might be a flash crash for the last 5, but it's a downtrend that's going to continue. We're eating healthy. We don't poison ourselves anymore. We don't eat the schlop.
Yeah, the schlop.
So yeah, join us in Bonus Land. FleccasTalks.com is the website for that. Have a nice weekend, everybody. We'll see you on Tuesday.
Wet boy. The best new podcast of all time, dummy.